Smear Keir, Smear Keir, Smear Keir.
I must do another YouTube thing. Here is the latest Smear Keir in a very, very long line.
2 weeks ago, the Prime Minister invited himself into everyone's living room at 6 o'clock on a Friday evening. No one asked him to give that speech. He chose to do it. He chose to anoint himself as the great healer and pose as some kind of unifier. But when the man bankrolling his election says the member for Hackney North should be shot, he suddenly finds himself tongue-tied, shrinking in sophistry, hoping he can deflect for long enough that we'll all go away. What does the Prime Minister think it was about the hundreds of millions of pounds of NHS contracts given to Frank Hester by his government that first attracted him to giving £10 million to the Tory party in the first place?
Prime Minister. Listen, Mr. Speaker, I'm absolutely not going to take any lectures from somebody who chose to represent an anti-Semitic terrorist group, Hizb ut-Tahrir.
I don't know whether that's libelous or not, but it's certainly Smear Keir, because when Keir Starmer offered legal advice to the group in question, they were neither proscribed nor terrorists. And had they been obviously and avowedly anti-Semitic, they presumably would have been. So, you know, if you don't think that that person over there or that group over there should have legal representation, then remember you are calling for a world in which you would not be automatically entitled to it either. But anyway, on the plus side, it was a nice opportunity to remind ourselves of that splendid Smear Keir jingle. Natasha Clark is with me. It did as expected, I think. But, I mean, for me at least, and looking at my inbox, Sunak's responses left quite a lot to be desired.
Yes, and obviously to start off the Prime Minister's questions by using Angela Rayner's description of Tories as scum in comparison to someone calling for a black woman to be shot.
Yes.
It's not the same, is it?
Well, it's not remotely the same.
Not anywhere near the same.
But oddly as well.
Good try, but I'm flabbergasted about why
aren't you?
He didn't try at least to talk about anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, which is his usual go-to, and also would be a completely fair point to make. If you're talking about racism, which we do regularly day in, day out, we are talking about Islamophobia, and we also are talking about anti-Semitism, which is more prevalent in the Labour Party.
No one's given 10 million quid to the Labour Party and then called for... I can't think of any.
Didn't the ECHR once say the Labour Party were institutionally anti-Semitic?
Yes, of course, but no one's given 10 million quid to the Labour Party. And
not recently, no.
And called for a Jewish MP to be shot.
No,
ever.
it's not anything the same.
No.
But I'm surprised why the Prime Minister didn't decide to go on anti-Semitism. I don't know. Maybe they're deciding
But he did
to talk
later,
about...
and Starmer correctly said, "I have changed." It reminded me of when
I've
Tony
changed
Blair
my party.
said to John Major, I'm leading my party, he's following his. We're in that kind of territory now.
Yeah, what was his comment was something like I've changed my party, he's scared of his, which was a nice line. And he does look really weak after this entire 24 hours. And that's sort of what I'm trying to, we're all a bit exhausted about this row, I think, and now looking to what it actually means for the party and for the government, for Parliament. It just makes Rishi Sunak look like a really weak Prime Minister that's just in the pocket of his cabinet and is taking their lead on this. And obviously he felt like he was must have felt like he was bounced into a corner by Kemi Badenoch's statement yesterday.
And on it goes. And on it goes. I mean, for what, months? What do you feel about May as a potential election?
I don't think May's going to happen. I still don't think it's going to happen.
Well, nor do I.
I mean, look at the glum faces on the Conservative backbenches. Is that a kind of party which you think is ready to fight a general election? Let alone call one. There's just so much anger, despair and sadness on the Tory backbenches right now. And, completely fair enough. There's a poll that's just come out in the last few hours showing that they're now on the lowest vote share since Liz Truss. And one of the political pollsters commented the last time that a leader was doing so badly, they resigned the week later.
Who was that?
That was Liz Truss.
Oh, sorry.
The Tories on the lowest vote share since Liz Truss on 25% and Labour on 43%. And why on earth would you call an election right now?
And that's on that poll. On some other polls, they've gone lower than that, haven't they? I've seen them on 18.
Yes, I think this is the lowest vote share in comparison with the two numbers. I think that's what the difference is between some of these. But yes, it's not looking good. Why on earth would you call an election right now? Things are looking dreadful.
Who's the king
Conservative
across
Party.
the water? There isn't one really, is there?
There's no one. There's just no one there. And I say Kemi Badenoch is repeatedly putting her head above the parapet and causing the Prime Minister a little bit of irritation from the sidelines. But I don't think she and I don't think her team would want to admit that she is ready and waiting in the wings to come and swoop in anytime soon. You know, I think she would love to be the Tory leader after the election.
After a cataclysmic
because
defeat.
they need to give someone the fall guy, and that Rishi Sunak at the moment needs to be that fall guy. And there was a meeting between the Prime Minister and Sir Graham Bodie, the 1922 backbencher, earlier this week. There have been rumours that more letters have gone in of no confidence in the Prime Minister in the last few days. I don't know how much I believe that talk. But there is so much unhappiness. There is real despair in the depths of the Conservative Party, and it just feels like nobody is coming in to save them now.
While I have you, what's the convention? A few people are telling me that they're obviously still watching on screen while listening to you and I, that Diane Abbott is trying to catch the Speaker's eye. She's got to her feet on a few occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I was Speaker, I'd be tempted just to let her have her say at the moment, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, so she's doing what we call bobbing, so trying to catch the Speaker's eye. So if there's time, I imagine the Speaker would want to call her to speak.
Right.
There is a list of people that have pre-prepared questions every week at Prime Minister's Questions, and they go through the list. But I imagine on a week like this, you'd want to hear from Diane Abbott, and I imagine the Speaker will be sympathetic to her. And if she does, we will take right through there.
Of course we will. If she is invited to ask a question, she may not ask a question. She may make a contribution, but we shall carry that. And if it doesn't happen on our watch, I'm sure Sheila will as well. I mean, it is a mad little period then of British politics, because everything is falling apart for the party of government. And
Country's falling apart. Nothing works.
Country is broken, as a best-selling book has explained in great detail, I'm told. Haven't read it. Hate that guy.
Who?
And yet the prospect of an election is months and months away.
I think we've been in this. We've been in this for 3 months. We've been in this limbo, haven't we? And
it does feel like a limbo.
It does. And
still,
the government aren't doing anything. You know, the MPs come in on a Monday afternoon and they leave by a Wednesday. Like, there are people who will be going home today, back to their constituencies, in a desperate attempt to try and cling on to their seats. And Parliament will be dead again by Thursday, Friday, and nothing is going on. You know, we've got private members' bills later this week on a Friday where backbench MPs try and get their stuff through the Commons. But in terms of our government agenda, what really are we waiting for? The prisoners' bill, which we've been told is been delayed yet again, despite Alex Chalk saying that we're actually running out of prison spaces and we really need to pass these laws now. But they're worried that they're going to face a backbench rebellion from the likes of Suella Braverman, who is going to try and amend it and cause yet another headache for the Prime Minister. And we're still waiting for the Rwanda bill to get back from the Lords. What else other bits of legislation are we waiting for? Rishi Sunak's smoking ban still hasn't come through. I think he'll want to do that at some point. But apart from that, can you name any real bits of flagship laws that this Parliament are expected to get through before this election? I'm sure there is much more to do, but I don't think any of it is really a priority.
It's just very odd. And finally, I often cite Mr. Micawber at times like this, and the old line from David Copperfield, "Something will come up." I can't imagine what, even in his most fevered imaginings, Rishi Sunak is lying in bed at night.
What is he hoping for? I don't
Yes.
know. A positive summer where, we had a slight slither of good news from some GDP looking slightly more up today. Is that the start of things to come? Could interest rates start to fall? Could we have a lovely summer of sport? We've got the Olympics coming up, the Euros, maybe. I don't know. I really don't. But it really just feel like we're pulling, reaching our hand down the back of the sofa, trying to find some hope for the Conservative Party. And I cannot see where it's coming from.
Lint.
Yes, I'm not pulling up much from behind the back of the sofa. I'm shaking the Tory magic money tree and there's nothing coming out.